Hello, we've got chapter 10, the worst day of Hiccup's life so far. At dawn on the day of the quest, Hiccup got dressed very reluctantly indeed. He buckled on the sword his father had given him, hoping that it wouldn't get in the way too much. He slung a spade and a sling across his back where he normally might have carried a bow and arrow. He was so nervous he couldn't eat his porridge. He finally managed to drag Toothless out of bed and set off towards Hooligan Harbour, where everybody was meeting. Toothless sat on his shoulder angrily, rubbing sleep out of his eye with one wing. Toothless don't want to go on this quest, he complained. It's stupid, it's silly, it's dangerous. I rather agree with Toothless. Hiccup could not have agreed with him more, but all he said was, "You're going to be all right, Toothless. You've got wings, and any scullions attack you, and you just fly away." Yes, but Toothless don't like the sight of blood, whined Toothless. You get torn to pieces, and Toothless feels sick. We all have our problems, snapped Hiccup crossly. Fishlegs was already at the harbour, looking furious. His dragon Horrorcow sat at his feet, chewing quietly. All the other boys were milling about, their dragons fighting each other or flapping over their heads. Everybody was thoroughly overexcited, despite the very real prospect of being eaten alive. This is their dragon armour, by the way. That's their dragon armour and their dragon glove just there. Who do you reckon would win if a scullion was to fight a bloody crocodile in one-to-one combat? Chattered Waterhog. Oh, the scullion would win every time, replied Clueless. No question. My father says the scullion is one of the most vicious creatures on the planet. It'd just whip out that famous extra long claw and swipe. It'd be good night, Crocodile. Aha, said Waterhog craftily. But what if the scullion had one paw tied behind its back? Who would win then? Idiots, fumed Fishlegs. Idiots. I'm surrounded by idiots. And by people with seaweed for brains. Other than the boys, there were about 50 adult pirates in the scullion landing party, all of Stoic's biggest and finest warriors. Alvin was cracking jokes, giving out hearty handshakes and patting everybody in the back. Stoic the Vast was delighted to be setting off on a military operation and marched about yelling orders. Right, everybody, once we've landed, we split up into groups of 2. We fan out across the island and we get our dragons to sniff for the treasure. Well, notice you have all been supplied with a whistle. Gobber, could you demonstrate? I don't know how the whistle is going to be helpful. Gobber blew a sharp blast on the whistle. Beep! Once you hear the noise, you will realise that somebody has found the treasure. Make your way towards the sound as quickly as possible so we can all help to carry it back to the ship. Remember, the dragons will be sleeping during the day and it does not matter how much noise you make because the scullion is stone deaf. However, do try not to step on one. Yeah, that's a good idea. And don't forget that their sense of smell is very acute indeed. So once you land on the island, there will be absolutely no farting whatsoever. Is that understood? Warriors nodded solemnly. Righto then, says Stoic. Death or glory! Death or glory! Death or glory! yelled everybody. And the Grimbear's treasure-seeking scullion landing party climbed aboard the good ship Lucky 13 to set sail for the Isle of the Scullions. Dogsmith the Derwent accidentally bumped into Hiccup as they climbed in and knocked him onto the floor of the boat. He's so mean, where Snotlout trod on him. Clumsy me, grinned Snotlout, swinging the flash cut in a nonchalant fashion. Good luck, useless. So the Lucky 13, I'm not sure that's a very lucky number, just between you and me, set off slowly from the harbour through an ominous thick fog hanging heavily over the whole of the inner isles. It was difficult to see more than 6 feet ahead, and that's the Lucky 13 setting off. After 3 or 4 hours, they caught sight of the Isle of the Scullions looming spookily through the mist. And Hiccup's immediately thoughts were, in no particular order, let's go home, turn around, abandon ship. Don't sweat, he told himself. Scullions can smell sweat, but he could feel himself getting hotter and hotter with seasickness and fright as the island drew closer and closer. In fact, Even the bravest and most chatty of the hooligans fell silent as they sailed deeper and deeper into waters their tribe had been forbidden to enter for hundreds and hundreds of years. For the skull of the Scullions was a very sinister place. The black cliffs in their odd pillar-like formations and the bloody, bright red earth seemed to whisper the same word: death. That's not good. All around there were crazy towers of limpet shells stacked up in piles perilously high, like so many fantastic sculptures. Being unable to fly or swim, the Scullions were imprisoned on the island. They had long ago finished off any small mammals, reptiles or birds that had once lived there. For years they had had to exist on shellfish, the limpet in particular, because it was so plentiful. There was no sign of life anywhere. No rabbits, mice or other scuttly creatures running about the hillsides. No birds calling from the cliff tops. Nor were there any signs of the Scullions either. There were, however, worryingly enormous holes dotted all over the landscape. Those must be their burrows, thought Hiccup. We'll have to find out what happens on the Isle of the Scullions. Even though the chapter isn't ended, it's quite a long chapter, so we'll have to find out what happens there tomorrow. That is a picture of the Isle of the Scullions. We can find out what happens tomorrow.